Doc, human. Yes, I was called down to Bittersweet Farm to check on the Charlet. There was some concern about whether this cow had a stomach ailment that was preventing her from eating properly and gaining weight appropriately for her age. I found nothing wrong with her physically, no worms or infections. A bit of a mystery. Elspeth, human. They didn't understand. Audrey was sad because her mommy was gone away. I was sad too. Doc, human. Well, yes, Glenn did mention that the cow's mother had been sent to the abattoir about 4 months earlier. There is evidence that animals can suffer from grief upon the loss of a family member. I could only speculate whether that was the case with this particular Charlet. Audrey, cow. As hard as it was to resist indulging in the sweet, sweet flavors of grass and flower, my plan was working. Attention was drawn now to how drawn I looked. To add to my image as a wan and wandered cow barely worth the gas money to drive to Abbott's War, I would suck in my 4 stomachs whenever Farmer was nearby. I dare say I looked haggard and hardly appetizing. My performance was convincing to the point that a certain cow named Greta took it as a challenge to her reputation. Greta, cow. Who did she think she was? Yeah, that did she know at life's slings and arrows? Did a bit of skinniness compare to how I have suffered in this cruel world? I tried to be brave, yeah, and strong, yeah, not for myself, but for all the animals on this farm. Yet no one could see my sacrifice anymore. It hurts to remember such a difficult time. Audrey, cow. There is such a thing as too good a performance, I learned. I was drawing the wrong kind of attention from Farmer. One day Roy approached me. He said, "Little Audrey, you best be strapping on that feed bag. There has been talk around the dinner table that if you don't improve your weight soon, they will be forced to consider drastic measures." I didn't need to ask Roy to clarify what he meant, drastic measures, because the tone of his voice said it all. Too fat or too skinny, the truck to Abbott's War had my name on it. So I took Roy's advice. I started to eat with gusto. Not too challenging a task, as you might imagine. I suppose that the routine of eating and the pleasure of it made the worry of being sent to Abbott's War lessen. It's hard to stay anxious about something day after day, even something horrible, when it's so far away in the future. When the world continues to be full of splendor, when beauty is splashed across the landscape and detailed on the feathers of a perched flicker, I couldn't help but be lulled into a sense of wonder and joy. For wasn't that what I feared losing in the first place? Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Life went on, as they say. It wasn't as if Max's warning had been completely forgotten. The words fatter and older continued to hover around my head like a bothersome mosquito. It grew better and better I grew better and better at ignoring them. Mother was never too far away from my heart. I spoke to her in whispers, when among others. But when I was alone on Viewing Hill, I talked to her out loud, making note of the changes in the season that herself would have pointed out for my benefit. I cherished those times to be close, even though there was a lump of sorrow stuck in my throat. "Mother," I'd say, "the leaves are turning, see? There are some streaks of yellow and orange on the slopes behind Skyview Farms." I felt extra joy sharing these observations with her. "Snowflakes, Mother. Look, I can catch them on my tongue." Seasons passed in bliss, and there one day Roy came by while I was communing with Mother. It's time.